What's up, guys? What's up? Lesson 16-1, lecture and lesson for the CCENT ICND 100-105, the most current certification for the CCENT as of the date of this recording. And do you know how many broadcast and collision domains exist? So you notice the lesson we got a 16-1, so there's going to be several. They're going to be separate videos because I'm going to explain the answers to each one, so there will be a multiple video. So if you think you get it, you can skip on to lesson 17 when it's posted. You're going through the videos, and that should save you a little bit, guys. What's up? My name is Wade. Once again, here we are. So I drew a topology, and instead of taking up a lot of time drawing multiple topologies, I decided to do dash videos on them. So without a further ado, let's take a look. So we're going to look at a topology here. You may be given a topology is the following on your certification or as a question. And your question would be, how many broadcast domains and collision domains exist in this topology? So what I want you to do is really look. I know some of the words are here. So here, with the one arrow, is a hub. So this right here is a hub. This is a switch. It's got multiple arrows. Notice the multiple arrows. So I'm basically letting you identify the devices. A router. We're in GNS 3. So just trying to make this so you guys understand it. So a switch with the multiple arrows. One arrow is just going to be a hub. And remember, a hub is a multi-port repeater. So a layer 1 is a hub, a layer 2 is a switch, and a layer 3 is a router. So how many, to start this question off, let's go ahead and talk about the one that's probably a little bit easier, is how many broadcast domains exist in this topology. How many broadcast domains exist in this topology? You should have the answer if you understand how it works, probably by now. So if you don't, pause it, think about it, and then unpause it for the answer. So remember that routers split broadcast domains. It doesn't matter if it's a hub, it doesn't matter if it's a switch, unless it's a layer 3 switch that is acting as a router, and we give it IP routing and make it act like it's routing. But in this case, you won't have that in your ICND 1, so that will not matter. So don't even think about that. A switch is a switch. It's always layer 2. So a router divides, remember, it divides broadcast domains. So how many domains do you see with knowing that now, if you didn't before? So we have one broadcast domain right here. It runs to the router port. We have two. Notice it runs to this router. Now make sure you pay attention to the cables also. And we have a router over here with its own network. And we have three. So in this visual, this topology, there is three broadcast domains. Remember, they are divided by routers. Does that mean I have to have two networks on a router? Not necessarily, I do not. So the main focus you're looking at is how many networks. Remember, it stops at the router's port interface. There's not another one coming out, a cable from the port, so there is no more broadcast domains over here as there's nothing connected. Only one. Here we have two interfaces coming out of the router, so that's one, and then two, and then this one will make up for number 3 broadcast domains. So here's the harder one. Most people get broadcast domains pretty quickly, but the one I find some people have trouble on is collision domains in topologies like this. And if they give it to you in a certification question form, I promise you they're going to make sure that you know it. They're not going to give you a straight up easy one. They're going to make sure that you understand what a collision domain is and a broadcast domain. So take a minute, count what you think is the collision domains. You can write that number down, type that number somewhere, or just memorize it. Should be taking a little bit more to count for it, of course. So if you need more time, you want to pause the video, go right ahead. If you want a hint, then keep it rolling. Alright, so remember that a broadcast, or not broadcast, but a collision domain is based on switches. Each port is a separate collision domain. On a hub, anything connected to the hub is just considered a single collision domain. It acts as almost, remember, a multi-port repeater. It almost thinks that every one of these cables is just all the same cable. It all runs the same. They all transmit data, the same data, non-stop. It's repeating the data through every port. It does not act like a switch. It does not have a MAC address table. So it's constantly at every port, floods the ports with data. So if PC6 wants to ping PC5, it's going at every one of these ports every time. If PC7 wants to get there, or vice versa, like the last lesson. Remember, it would flood at first. Well, it floods every time. So if I did 5 to 6, it would flood every port. 6 to 5, no matter how many times, it's going to flood every port every time. It is not an intelligent device. It does not have any kind of tables for switching or knowing how to move traffic. It just forwards it all like it's one big cable. It takes multiple cables and basically combines them. That is what a hub does. That's one way how I visualize it. So remember that a hub is an entire collision domain. A switch, each port divides the collision domain. So we have 1, 2, 3, technically 4, wrong thing, 4 ports out of that switch that is considered a collision domain. Now don't forget that this one is actually a part of this also. So okay, let's see. Now you should be able to answer this question, and make sure, like I said, you mark your collision domains at the same time. You don't want to double count them. So we have this right here is an entire one collision domain. So we have 1 from the hub, counts every one of these. We have 2, we have 3, we have 4. So north of this router, there is 4 collision domains. Remember, the hub is an entire domain. Everything that touches is an entire domain. Well, the switch is every port, but remember, this port is already counted on the hub. So we got 1, 2, 3, plus equals 4. And when we get down here, remember, that's only the top. So let's go ahead and work down here, and then we will work the separate network. So let's go down here. What do we got here? We got 2 hubs. How do you think this? Now, what do you think this is? I threw this down here. This should be a good one. If you really paid attention or listened to how I explained each device, you should know. So how many we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4 over here. How many is over here? This is an entire collision domain. This makes 5. This is the 5th collision domain. So how many collision domains do we have over here? Now we know that this topology over here has a total of 5. How many collision domains are over here? Okay, remember, we're already on 5. This would be 6. This is a switch. Remember, this is a switch, not a hub. This would be 7, 8, 9, 10, and don't forget about this line, 11. So in this topology, if you answered 3 broadcast domains and 11 collision domains, you're correct. And I explained how. Remember, hub. This is a hub. This is a hub. This is a hub. Now, just because 2 hubs are connected does not make that separate. Remember that every port on the hub is just combining a cable. So here, this cable is being combined together, but it's also coming over here, which is going to just combine more to this. So all this is seen as almost one entire cable. The more PCs we have and the more hubs, the more higher possibility of a collision, even with the distance of a collision happening. A lot less possibility with switches because of the way that they work. And then broadcast domains, remember, it's divided by the router. We got 1, we got 2, we got 3. 3 broadcast domains and 11 collision domains. Hope you guys found this video informational. Hope this helps bring a little bit of help to you on understanding them. Look out for the next 2 videos. There will be a total of 3 on how many broadcast and collision domains exist. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to subscribe. It means a lot to me. If you got any questions or you noticed any errors, please reply. I know I'm not perfect. I'll make mistakes here and there, and half the time I catch them in my video when I make a mistake and I have to redo them. So if you catch anything, let me know as I go through them fast, and I do multiple videos sometimes a day out there. If I catch the mistake, I usually look over it. Most of the time I correct it. So if you see something go up and I realize it's a mistake, you'll see it come down pretty quickly from there. I do private tutoring. If you are having trouble understanding anything through these videos, please let me know. Remember to email me at strifex1986, that is STRIFEX1986 @gmail.com. And at the subject line, just put tutor or help teach me networking. And I will get back to you guys until the next video, which will be lecture and lesson 16-2 with the same title, how many broadcast and collision domains exist in the topology. See you guys then, and thank you for watching. Peace, guys.